They wouldn't respond to me. Now I'm energized up, I'ma charge this beat. Like right now, back on beat, get it back on beat, get it back on beat. Like right now, back on beat, get it back on beat, get it back on beat. Like right now, back on beat, get it back on beat, get it back on beat. Like right now, back on beat, get it back on beat, get it back on beat. Snap on beat like a battery, run through drills like it's cavalry. Can't do work, burn calories, and flex with a low wage salary.
What's up, everybody? My name is BraedenV, and I'd like to welcome you to the third episode of the Chasing Planes podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk a bit about Back on Beat, the song that you heard in the intro here. We're going to talk about hip-hop and why I think it's one of the best genres of music to ever exist. We're going to talk about the importance of sucking at things. We're going to talk about The Mountain, my new song. We're going to talk a bit about Bye Bye, the song that I just released on the 25th. And then lastly, we're going to talk a bit about some live shows we got coming up. So let's get right into it. So Back on Beat was my first collab. It was the first time I worked with other songwriters, other rappers on a track. And it was something I was very shy about, something I was very insecure about because, when you're an artist, you tend to live in your own bubble a little bit when you're writing. And it's not always the most comfortable thing to, show your writing to another artist when it's not done. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times artists are very shy about showing people unfinished product, right? It makes sense. Because, it's not what it's supposed to be yet. It's still in a, creation phase. Anyways, I really loved collabs. I realized doing that session with those guys, with Pr02Type and Spivey, shout out to those guys who feature on Back on Beat. I really enjoy collaborations. And here's why. I can listen to the collab song, and it doesn't feel like it's my song anymore. I'm listening to a dope song that some dope rapper friends that I have are in, and I just happen to write the intro of. I like the first verse. I like doing the first verse because it's like setting the stage. Back on Beat is about getting into that groove. It's just a song about loving hip-hop and showing off how fun it is. It's super fun to perform live. The beat's just absolutely insane. It's so good. Check out the beat, even without the vocals. I'll play you guys a little cut of it. One sec.
Right now, back on beat, get it back on beat, get it back on beat.
Just absolutely wicked, dramatic, fun beat. So when I heard this beat, it's produced by Sighost. He hit me up on Instagram. I worked with him on my Chasing Planes project, and he was like, "Hey man, I've got these tracks I haven't put up yet on my website. I'm gonna kind of bulk put them up online, but I'll give you first dibs if you want to check them out before any other artists do." So I was like, hell yeah, right? I sifted through them and actually picked out two. The second beat you'll hear in an upcoming song of mine. But the Back on Beat instrumental, it was so good. The beat had me just bobbing in my chair, and I was like, oh my God, this is a surefire great track. I just need the right voices on it. I just need the right chorus. I just need the right lyrics. So I sent it to Pr02Type, and he was like, yo, I got the right idea for this chorus. Come by, let's do a session. So I went to his place, and he was like, what do you think of this? And he told me, he started going, back on beat, get it back on beat, like right now, back on beat. And I'm like, yo, this is fucking dope. Like, let's get this thing recorded. Let's get writing. So I sat down. I wrote that 16-bar intro verse that I do, talking about a little bit of wordplay. It was just fun. The whole point of it is to have fun with the wordplay and the hip-hop and rapping, show people why we love it, the fun parts of it, and that it's not all serious stuff, you know what I mean? So anyways, I hop up in that vocal booth. I lay out my verse. Pr02Type does the same with his. His verse is actually a double long verse, so it's a lot of work for him. It's a difficult song for Pr02Type to perform because his verse is twice as long as mine and Spivey's. So technically, we probably should have had a fourth rapper on there to take the second half essentially off his hands. But anyways, he killed it, so nothing wrong with that. But anyways, it took about an hour for us to record the rough vocal reference version of Back on Beat, and we sent it to Spivey so he could write his verse. A couple weekends later, we go out to DNR Studio, shout out to those guys, Spivey and Dylan, to do the recording for the vocals of the proper final cut of Back on Beat. And at this time, I hadn't heard Spivey's verse yet. So we got to sit in the production suite and listen to him spit this amazing third verse that just seals the song, in my opinion, as one of the best hip-hop collab songs on the East Coast. This chorus is super catchy. You hear it once, you know it. The beat is unbelievable in a car, if you're jogging, if you're in the club. The content of the song is fun. It's off the walls. It's serious, but not too serious. It's got wordplay. It contains most of the elements that I would consider key to a great hip-hop song. It harkens to those 2010 era collabs that the major level rappers like Drake and Kanye and Eminem and Lil Wayne and all those guys were doing. So I learned in that experience, kind of more or less, that collabs are dope because the song, it's not just your song anymore. There's other perspectives on it. There's the voices, and like if you work with the right people, you'll be blown away by what they deliver for you on that content. Spivey just absolutely blew my mind with his verse. The Prototype's verse, every time he performs it, I still go like, man, how are you getting those tongue twisters out without messing them up? I still can't perform his verse. And I mean, I've been rapping for a couple of years, and I fuck up all the time trying to do that guy's verse. Spivey's verse is a pretty hard verse too. They've got some real wicked lines in there and some dope rhymes. So shout out to them. Make sure you check them out on Spotify and SoundCloud and YouTube and all that shit if you can. I'll be performing with the Prototype at Bubba's Lounge, actually, on April 8th. Since we're on the topic, I guess I'll do a real quick switch, and let's talk about some live shows. So in the next couple months, I've got a couple gigs coming up. Like I said, April 8th at Bubba's Lounge. We'll be performing at 10 p.m. It's a $10 cover. Come check us out. DJ Alleycat's going to be spinning the track. Shout out to him. D Saint's going to be performing. Adjust the Facts are performing. They're a hip-hop duo. They're very fun, great energy. And Prototype's on that bill with me, too. So the four of us will be ripping out some rap tracks. 10 p.m. Bubba's Lounge, April 8th. Don't miss it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. I've got some special stuff planned for it. I'm going to debut my new song, The Mountain, live. I'm going to perform a couple covers maybe, depending on how long the set list time is. Wanted to have some fun with this show, so I had a couple fan favorites that I wanted to do maybe as a cover. Anyways, beyond that, I've got a couple shows that are in the works. I just don't want to get the dates wrong on you guys just yet because they are floating a bit. I do believe May there will be 2 shows, so stay tuned, and I'll make sure I give you guys an exact date and make sure we post up on the Instagram and the socials so you guys can't miss that when it happens. So for my next topic of the day, we're going to talk about sucking. And I know it sounds weird, but I'm a firm believer in the power of being bad at things for a while and the good that it can do for you in the long term. And what I mean by that is when you start something, you're probably terrible at it. Most people think music in particular is like a talent thing. Like, oh my God, you're so talented. How'd you get the ability to sing like that? Or, the writing skill, whatever it might be. The truth is it's by starting and sucking and being bad at it, not knowing what the hell you're doing and giving into that process and realizing that you're a work in progress and it's going to suck for a while, probably for a long while. But you're going to slowly start sucking a bit less, and eventually you're not going to be so bad at all. And then at some point, you're going to start getting pretty good. So for me, I think the key is just have fun. Don't stress over not being great at something, especially early on. You've got so much time to grow and to learn, and you have to allow yourself that. That's the real thing. We expect so much of ourselves sometimes, but we have to realize that we're developing and we are growing, and we're always able to improve as long as we keep the right mindset about it. We don't get egotistical. We don't get full of ourselves. We don't convince ourselves we're smarter than everybody else in the room. We have to make sure we keep that humble mindset of there's always growth to be had. There's always more to learn, and everybody that's around you has a skill or a talent or a process or something that you can learn from it and grow yourself from. And I think that's a really key thing, key factor to my success so far in music. I've walked into every single room I'm in, assuming I'm the dumbest person in that room. And it's paid off for the most part in the way that most people that I've worked with are willing to give their skills, give their explanations of why they're doing this and that, really to educate. I've been really lucky because I haven't had to deal with anybody that's frustrating to deal with in that. I've approached everybody and gone to them, and I've been pretty frank about stating that I'm growing, we're learning, and we're getting better, and anything that they can do to help guide that path and to help show me little tips and tricks to help me grow, I'm all about that. And I want to real quickly just thank the people that have been a part of that process, people that have been through, some frustrating times probably, trying to help me get, to the level where I deserve to be at, or where I should be at, where I feel I should be at. I have to thank my father, obviously. I have to thank people like Adam Gallant at the Hill Sound Studio. Got to thank Spivey and Dylan at DNR Studios, people like them who have been there in the trenches with me while I'm struggling with the songs, where we are having troubles recording, where we've had debates, where we've had to have minor conflicts, trying to figure out how to get things done and get the critical path to completion. So I just want to thank those people for their patience, for their insight, and for their guidance, their wisdom. And I look forward to impressing you guys in the future as I continue to grow, and the things that they have taught me come to fruition. And I take those and run with them. So suck for a while, guys. Whatever it is that you are thinking of doing, whatever it is you want to do, just start it and suck at it. And understand that you're going to suck at it, but that's okay. That's the point. You're supposed to suck at it because that's how you're going to start picking up those skills. You're going to suck at it. You're going to feel bad, and you're going to want to change it. You're going to fix it so you're better at it. So just remember, guys, let that happen. Give yourself that time to fail and to grow and to learn from that.
Some changes now. Remember when the sky was falling? Yeah, I watched it as it all came raining down. I know that you've been calling, been saying I became a stranger now. I hear the shouting voices, yeah, but they're growing much fainter now. They made me doubt my choices, but I'm going through some changes now. Remember when the sky was falling? Yeah, I watched it as it all came raining down. I know that you've been calling, been saying I became a stranger now.
That was a clip from my song Voices, the debut BraedenV single produced by myself and Adam Glant from the Hill Sound Studios. I wrote Voices over 2 days. I may have spoken about this before, but the Voices was a song I created the beat for and the instrumental for on my broken old laptop as it was falling apart. I made it one day, and then the next day I wrote the lyrics, and then the day after that I went into the studio and recorded the song. It was a 3-day process, essentially, 2-day writing process, 1-day recording process. Adam Glant from the Hill Sound Studio mixed and mastered the song. Shout out to him. I also want to give him some credit for the outro of that song. You'll notice I let the beat ride out, quote unquote, which is essentially just you let the instrumental play itself for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever at the end of the song, instead of ending it with like a hard vocal or lyrics or whatever the heck. Anyways, it's like an outro. Adam Glant did some cool wizardry on his computer and made that outro a little bit cooler, kind of added some effects, kind of, made it a bit funkier. So it's actually one of my favorite parts of the song. I love the instrumental of Voices. So shout outs to him. I just wanted to take this moment to thank everybody who helped work on Bye Bye with me. Nolan Compton, producer Trent Taylor, Colin Buchanan from the Hill Sound Studio, and Music PEI, of course. Those people and organization helped make Bye Bye one of my fastest growing releases to date. Bye Bye's been out 6-7 days now and is already over 500 streams on Spotify. I'm actually a day or two behind on the streaming numbers. The metrics take about a day or two to be calculated. So it's more than likely much higher than that right now. So I just want to tell everybody that I'm appreciative of their support. My last 2 releases have been the quickest growing releases of my catalog. The Mountain is over 4,000 streams now within a month. So I'm really happy about that, guys. 1,000 streams a week is a number beyond what I ever expected to be getting. So it just means, hard work pays off. Obviously, the promotion that I've been doing is helping a little bit with growing my audience and kind of point more people in the direction of my music, because that's really the key if you're creating music that's good, more or less. And, I dare say I think my music is okay. The key is getting the ears on it. Really, at the end of the day, there's so many songs that you love, I love, but we don't know exist because we haven't had the opportunity. The promotion wasn't there. The marketing wasn't there to put the song in front of us. You can only serve what's available at the buffet, right? So, you kind of... Artists like myself, independent artists, are at the mercy of streaming platforms, promotional services, and the like to get our name and our music out there. Otherwise, we rely on family and friends for all the streams and all the support. And mind you, I'm very grateful for all the support that I get from my friends and family. Because without you guys, I don't think I'd have lasted 2 years in music. And that's where I'm now. We're over 2 years now, guys. And we're going strong. We're doing really well now. Where 2 years ago, geez, it was a struggle just to get one song done. Now the process of getting a song done isn't as much of an issue. It's more an issue of, do I have enough of a budget for the promotion that I want? Do I have enough production behind the song to make it as good as it can be? Back in the day, it was like, let's just get the song done. Now it's, the song is done. What can we do to make it as good as it can be? What can we do to make it better? How can we maximize this? So, you know, there's obviously a process of growth that's happening here in the last 2 years where my songwriting has gone from struggling to finish the song, because let me tell you guys, before 2020, before I started releasing music, I was never finishing anything. I never finished a song. I have hundreds of songs that are unfinished. They have a verse, they have a chorus, they have nothing else. Anyways, the point is, guys, once 2020 hit and I started finishing songs, made a conscious decision to finish and release a song one at a time if it has to be done. Once that decision was made and I set that goal and I accomplished it the first time, it was like, it's like you're cooking with gas now. It was like, you know how to do it. You cracked that egg. You made that omelet. I don't know what's with all the food metaphors, by the way. Apparently I'm hungry today. But the point is, like, once you know how to do it, you can do it yourself forever. And you can just improve and get better at it, more efficient. So we're at a point now, I think, with my music where it's just about creating more opportunities to do better, to get to get better production, better budget, better everything. Just scale up, improve, grow, blossom, bloom. And, you know, we'll see how big we can make it, how far we can go. My dream, you know, when I started this music thing, my goal was just to create music that was meaningful to me, that would make me feel better about my life. I was unhappy with my life before I started releasing music. Much happier now that I've started releasing music, because I'm doing something that's meaningful to my own life, to my own story in this universe. And I think it's important for everybody to find something meaningful for them to do in their spare time, you know, hobbies, whatever it might be, even if it's just your family. You got to make sure you spend your time in ways that are meaningful to you, because if you're just getting up, going to work, and turning on the TV when you get home, you're missing something in this life. There's a lot more going on here than we're giving credit. And we can numb ourselves to it if we want. We can distract ourselves, but I think at the end of this journey, we've got to face that music and go, in my time here, did I use that time in a way that was meaningful, but also trying to find the right word for it, because really your time is, you know, you can do what you want with it. Not everybody has to be a creative. Not everybody has to make music. Not everybody has to, you know, make art. But I think the key is to just find something that's important to you, that makes your life have purpose to you. And that will, I think, ultimately lead to a happy life. I think the key is to just keep pursuing those things that matter to you. And I'm stuck on this word meaningful because I don't have a synonymous word to replace it with. But I think it's an important word to remember, guys. Maybe that's the key word of this podcast. Is, you know, just do things that are important to you and your journey in this life, whatever that might be. You know, I obviously on this podcast frame things a lot through the music lens, through the creative process lens. So obviously for somebody like me, meaningful things are often art or interacting with people in a way that leaves them with a positive outcome. For me, it's all about sharing in this ride together, reminding each other that we're not alone in this, that we all feel the same things, and that, you know, if we're struggling, there's others that are struggling too, and there's people that are there to support you. Music for me has been a journey of mental health, personal mental health, and hopefully mental health for everybody else. I want to help improve those things with music itself, because music is a mood-enhancing drug. When you put on music, it will change your mood according to, you know, how that music makes you feel. A lot of people don't like heavy metal, for example, because it makes them feel anger or negative emotions that they do not want to feel. The same can be said about other genres. Just I use heavy metal as an example because it's maybe a bit more of an obvious one. I love hip-hop, for example, because I think hip-hop is the most open genre in the world. It is a melting pot genre. You can get a singer or an artist from almost any discipline or subgenre or style of music, and you can find a way to make their style, sound, instrumentation, whatever it is that they bring to the table, you can find a way to make it work in hip-hop and still have it be a great song. And that's not to say you can't do that with other genres, but I don't know many other genres where you can have a rap verse, a falsetto female singer, a bizarre instrumentation, and a sample from a song from the 40s, mix them all together, and you come out with a chart topper. You know what I mean? There's not many genres that are capable of that concoction or whatever you want to call that. There's an alchemy involved in hip hop that's taking from other genres more than a lot of the other genres take from each other, if that makes sense. And I am rambling a little bit here, guys, and getting off topic, but I think this is a fun conversation to be had. Why is hip hop so prevalent in our culture? Why is it the most popular streamed genre in the world? And why does it only seem to be starting to influence other genres around it? Because that really is the key. When you see a genre in music and it stretches into other genres and starts blending into those, that's how you know it's a good, powerful, relatable style of music. Hip-hop is so relatable to so many people on this planet, and so many that don't even know it, by the way. When I say it's relatable, I mean people who think they hate hip-hop love it. They just don't know the right artists. They have not been exposed to the right musicians, artists, sounds, styles, subgenres within the culture. A lot of times when someone says rap music or hip-hop, they assume materialism, they assume sexism, they assume the talking shit on a microphone about how he's better than everybody and richer than everybody, etc., etc. This is a very common stereotype cliche in hip-hop, and it is a major part of hip-hop, materialism and that party thing, that kind of like talking up the money, talking about the materialism stuff. That is a big branding factor in the marketing of hip-hop on the highest level. It is not the most relatable of content, however. In my opinion, the most relatable content is always based on emotions, because no matter who you are, you can get a human from 500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, and bring him right here, drop him next to you, and you and him still experience those same emotions. Our cultures have changed. Our technology has changed. Our interactions with each other and how we do so have changed. But ultimately, the human experience and what a human is has not changed a lot in that time. So I think the key to timeless music is focusing on those things that never will change. And that is emotions. That is the human experience. We got to distill these things to make relatable, timeless music. As soon as you start branching into the ego, start branching into the popular culture of the day, you begin making music that will be dated or may expire.
And it's like I seen a ghost. I just can't seem to feel you. You're an echo. I can't seem to hear you. Who do you call when nobody's ever there? I want you to know that I can see you clear through the smoke. I just can't seem to feel you. You're an echo. I can't seem to hear you. Who do you call when nobody's ever there? I want you to know that I can see you clear through the smoke. I just can't seem to feel you. You're an echo. I can't seem to hear you. Who do you call when nobody's ever there? I want you to know that